Hello everyone, Menopause Meditation here. It is Wednesday, May the 21st, and it is the feast of Saint Eugene de Maisonneuve and Saint Christopher Magallans and companions. From the first reading, Acts 15, and after Paul and Barnabas had no small dissension and debate with them, because this is the circumcision debate, Paul and Barnabas and some of the others were appointed to go up to Jerusalem to discuss the question with the apostles and the elders. This sets the stage for the first ecumenical council of the church. It's not Nicaea, it's Jerusalem. It is the mother council, right? So when they arrived, there's contention. There's always contention in the church. Everybody looks for a pristine, church. No, it's in heaven. Here we got to duke it out. We got to, walk through this sort of hazy and foggy valley. The Lord said, I'll be with you until all days, until the consummation of the world. But, we tend to think that councils are supposed to be these nice meetings where everybody has a cup of tea, everybody's getting along. Well, sometimes yes and sometimes no. Nicaea, apparently, they were duking it out with each other. The Lord would rather it be another way, but he also knows what kind of children we are, and we're in an infected world. We're infected by original sin. So we have to really strive to overcome these things and work through our differences and ask him to help us. So what happens here, that some of the Pharisees stood up and said, it's necessary for them to be circumcised in order to keep the law of Moses. But thanks be to God, this section closes this way. The apostles and the elders met together to consider this matter. So the apostles and the elders met together. So they listen, they pray, they search the scriptures, they open themselves to be guided by the Holy Spirit. And the Lord has always been faithful to his promise. On matters essential for salvation, the Master has always been faithful to his promise. And this is one of the key elements in the reality of the church, the one true church of Jesus Christ, is that these difficulties arise. The apostles then have to meet, the successors of the apostles have to meet. They have to work out these solutions. And if you look through all the ecumenical councils of the church, some we don't like, some are liked more than others, but they haven't been clean get-togethers, nice, neat, clean get-togethers. No, they haven't been. They've been raucous, they've been difficult, they've been painful at times, but the Lord's always been faithful to his promise. And so this is the first, and the circumcision debate will be decided, and it was worked through. Okay, so then over to the gospel, John chapter 15. Jesus says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine grower. He removes every branch in me that bears no fruit. Every branch that bears fruit, he prunes to make it bear more fruit. You have already been cleansed by the word that I have spoken to you. So here we have Jesus basically saying, those who are faithful to me are going to be pruned by my Father. He's using the analogy of, everybody understands pruning, especially in this society, this culture. It has lots of vines for grapes, wines, and so on, because wine was pretty much a staple in those days. So they understood this. So if you want to take a good vine and make it better, you've got to be willing to prune it. So if you are close to God and you think that nothing is going to happen, that you're not going to be pruned, you're not going to go through purifications, you're not going to go through tribulations and trials, then you got your head in the sand. Now, I would have my head in the sand. We're not listening, we're not paying attention. We think that somehow God owes us a carefree existence. He doesn't. It's not the way it works. The next life is going to be like that, not this one. So again, we don't go looking for these things. We don't have to go looking. All we have to do is desire to be faithful, to do what the Lord wants us to do. That's all we have to do. And when these things come, we should be prepared for them. We should maybe not initially prepared, but then if we're reading the scriptures, constantly reading the scriptures, interiorizing and acquiring a world biblical view, we will get it pretty quick. And we'll realize, this is part of my discipleship. This is part of what it means to be a son or daughter of God. I can try and mitigate it as long as I'm not denying Christ. I can try and work, but I have to work through it. Maybe I have to avoid it in some cases. Other times I have to work through it. So remember, everyone gets pruned, but only to make them more and more the image of Jesus Christ. God bless you.